We're coming to you with breaking news as protests break out across the nation in response to the release of horrifying body cam footage, which shows the alleged beating of Tyre Nichols, who later died in the hospital.
You've been taking a look at those protests in Memphis. The 5 police officers involved have been fired and now face second-degree murder charges. I'm Nikel Williams.
And I'm Dan Schaefer. We are continuing to follow the response to that new disturbing body camera footage out of Memphis for WAAY 31 News at 10.
Protests continue at this hour, demanding police reform. ABC's M. Nguyen goes over the footage, and we want to warn you, this video may be hard to watch.
Tonight, 4 graphic videos newly released by authorities in Memphis capturing the moment 5 now fired police officers stopped and beat unarmed 29-year-old Tyre Nichols after a traffic stop. Officers seen savagely kicking and punching Nichols and deploying pepper spray. Nichols, not far from home, desperately calling out for his mom. Mom! Police saying they initially pulled Nichols over for alleged reckless driving. You can see in the video an officer drag him out of the car, yelling for him to get down on the ground. Nichols saying he didn't do anything, police adding that he fled on foot. Also captured on a city surveillance camera, you can see officers pick him up from the ground, holding him up while officers appear to strike him in the face and torso. Nichols falls to his knees and additional officers kick him. The avid skateboarder and father to a 4-year-old son, critically injured, dying 3 days later in the hospital. The city's top police official calling the encounter heinous and inhumane. We say fight back! Tonight, protests across the nation as the officers allegedly involved Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin III, and Justin Smith each face second-degree murder and other charges, including aggravated assault and kidnapping. An internal investigation concluded the officers used excessive force and failed to intervene or render aid. The Nichols family spoke out tonight after the video was released to the public.
This video illustrates exactly what happened on those streets that night. This also justifies our son showing that he was no threat to them.
I just feel like my son was sent here on an assignment. His assignment was fulfilled, and God took him home.
In Memphis, M. Nguyen, ABC News.
One group of around 200 protesters have blocked the I-55 bridge, which spans the Mississippi River into downtown Memphis. Protesters accessed that bridge, saying they plan to march to the police substation where the Memphis Police Scorpion Unit was based. We want to bring in WAAY 31's Xavier Wary, who joins us live now from downtown Huntsville.
Xavier has been out getting community reaction tonight from this disturbing video.
Nikel, Dan, I tell you, these type of incidents, they're never easy to watch, certainly not easy to report on. Once that body cam footage came out, I hit the streets of Huntsville to see what people thought about the news. I found one couple who was walking outside. They did not feel comfortable going on camera or sharing their thoughts on the record, but they do tell me that that video was extremely disturbing to them. I found another set of people here tonight. They had not seen the video. We watched it together. I saw them as they sat in disbelief, and take a listen to what they had to say.
You numb to seeing it now, but it still upsets you because it's just like, if he was already in handcuffs, there's no need to continue to keep doing that to him.
There needs to be different training.
Exactly.
There needs to be better psych evals because clearly something's wrong with these people that are killing innocent people. I can see if somebody has a weapon and you're trying to defend other people, that's totally understandable. But he's alone by himself. Where's the training at? Why are y'all not able to put him in handcuffs and set him in the car?
Right.
That gentleman that you just heard from, he was sure to mention that this particular incident, it's not a racial issue. Of course, the 5 police officers that killed that man, or that are accused of killing that man, they were all African American. He says that the main issue here is just cops killing unarmed civilians. And of course, he believes that this is a problem that needs to be rectified as soon as possible. I'm reporting live tonight in downtown Huntsville. Xavier Wary, WAAY 31 News.
Xavier, thanks. I reached out to my friend Dr. Andre Johnson tonight, who's a professor at the University of Memphis, but he's also a pastor there in the community. He's on the ground tonight there. He tells me Memphis is really hurting and the people there are upset tonight.
And I also know Dr. Johnson went on to say that many people now feel that they may finally get the change they've been demanding regarding this unit of officers that's in question tonight and the Memphis Police Department in general.
They police in a violent way. That was the main concern. People you hear testimonies, and I'm just, the ones that I've heard over and over again as we've been trying to do this work is they jump out your car, they jump out the cars, they just grab you, hem you up, put guns in your face, tase you for no reason, empty your pockets, illegally search you, put you in, and detain you for any length of time to do whatever they wanted to do to you.
He went on to say he hopes and expects protests will remain peaceful and that he knows the community will work together to find a way forward. President Joe Biden also sharing his condolences with the Memphis community tonight.
The president released a statement earlier this evening saying he was outraged and deeply pained after watching the video of Tyre Nichols' death. Biden also says, quote, "There are no words to describe the heartbreak and grief of loss, of losing a beloved child and young father. Nothing can bring back Mr. Nichols to his family and the Memphis community." President Biden also says he joins with the Nichols family in calling for peaceful protests.
Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee also released a statement this week on Nichols' death, saying the 5 officers should face justice for this incident.
6 minutes after 10 o'clock, here is a live look over Muscle Shoals from our Thompson Roofing and Construction Sky Camera Network. Mixed bag of sun and rain for us this weekend.
Let's check in with Wave 31 Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust. Taylor, what does the timeline look like for this weekend?
Well, we're going to have the drier weather first, and then we'll close out the weekend with widespread rain. Everyone will get that rain eventually, but we're not seeing it right now on the Wave 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Just another chilly night setting up for us across North Alabama. We are down to 30 in Fort Payne, 29 in Gadsden. Not quite that cool elsewhere. Currently 40 in Huntsville and 35 at this hour in Moulton. We'll see a low around 33 tonight in the Rocket City, so avoiding the sub-freezing temperatures, but still chilly as we head into the late night hours and early in the day on Saturday. By middle of the day tomorrow should be a good time to take the dog out for a walk. We'll see plenty of sunshine, especially early in the day. Quick warm up as well. We're up to 55 degrees by noon tomorrow, and eventually we'll climb to the upper 50s. Take advantage of that dry weather because we'll have a lot of muddy paws on the dogs in our future here with a lot of rain coming our way on Sunday. Plenty more after that by the middle of next week. When you combine all of the rain together from Sunday through the middle of next week, most of us are going to get at least 2 inches of rain, and there could be pockets of North Alabama that pick up 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. And when we get that much rain in that short period of time, we're talking at least some isolated flooding potential. So we'll time out when exactly that rain rolls through both this weekend and next week, coming up here in a few minutes.
All right, Taylor, thanks. You can keep track of this weekend's weather hour by hour by downloading our Wave 31 Storm Tracker weather app. It's free to download for your devices.
Still ahead, we speak to a teen who's turning to a special talent to help him pay for college.
Why NASA and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center might have a hurdle to face as they prepare to remove the Saturn 1B rocket.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching Wave 31 News with Dan Schaefer, Nakel Williams, Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust, Sports Director Nolan Knight, and the Wave 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
New at 10, a local high school graduate is dedicating his free time to playing music at a local Walmart. He hopes he can raise enough money so that he can pay for out-of-state tuition costs to attend his dream college.
18-year-old Jaden Sumbry can be seen on the corner outside the Walmart on Madison Boulevard, where he plays the quads with a green bin. Sumbry recently graduated from Bob Jones in December, but walks in May.
Sumbry says he wants to attend Florida A&M University, maybe play in the FAMU Marching 100. I don't know, but that means paying that out-of-state tuition.
14 to 25 grand for that, and right now I'm at least 5.
Financially, it may be a tall ladder to climb, but Sumbry is certain he can raise the money needed to attend his university of choice.
I've been involved with drums since I was 2 years old. I played for a drum line in Huntsville, and from there I've been teaching myself.
Achieving that goal for Sumbry means a voluntary visit to Walmart every week, marching to the beat of his own drum.
I decided to come here because I feel like me putting more talent on what I have would bring more people to see what I'm trying to do and will help me out in the long run.
Sumbry says he wants to be a veterinary cardiologist. His love for animals spans back to when he was a young kid. Sumbry says he has other side hustles to help him turn his vision into reality.
I'm a growing dog breeder. I have a clothing brand I'm launching next week, and I just want to see where that goes and stuff.
So for now, Sumbry will continue breeding dogs, releasing his clothing material, and playing the quads at Walmart. So by the time August rolls around, he can proudly say his dreams
Thank you.
came true. In Madison, I'm Xavier Wary, Way 31 News.
Sumbry is dedicated no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. He says you can expect him every Saturday out on that corner.
Removing the Saturn 1B rocket from its home at the I-65 State Line Welcome Center could violate Alabama's Memorial Preservation Act. If the law applies, either the U.S. Space and Rocket Center or Marshall Space Flight Center would have to cough up a hefty $25,000 fine. The act prevents monuments, which have been in place for 40 years or more, from being taken down, altered, or moved. The Attorney General's office would need to determine if the law's definition of a monument applies here.
It's an Alabama monument. Yes, it is.
So there's no question.
It's a statue, just like the one in New York. Well, this is a rocket. Yes, it's just a little bit different.
Saturn 1B was designed and developed at the Marshall Space Flight Center and represents the historic role North Alabama played in getting us to the moon. Both NASA and the Space and Rocket Center say that rocket, though, has deteriorated and must be removed for safety reasons.
Weather coverage you can count on with Chief Meteorologist Tanner Knust and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
A well-deserved, quiet and comfortable day earlier today. We're cooling down on this Friday evening. Currently at 40 degrees in Huntsville. We'll stay put in the cool range overnight tonight with temperatures falling to the low 30s in most spots. You get over to Fort Payne and Gadsden, lows down to the 20s expected. So chilly tonight, chilly early in the day Saturday. Won't take long for those temperatures to climb, though. We're back to the 50s by 11 o'clock this morning, tomorrow morning rather, and we'll climb to the upper 50s by Saturday afternoon, shaping up to be a very nice start to the weekend. Dry weather expected tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. Forecast highs across the region. We'll see a high of 59 in Collinsville, 57 in Albertville, New Hope climbing to 60 degrees, Decatur 61, 60 in Athens, farther to the west, a high of 60 in the forecast for both Florence and Cherokee. So again, warmer than average to start the weekend. It will not stay that way for long, so make sure you soak in tomorrow's nice weather while we have it. Your Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network, all clear. It's going to stay that way for the next 18 hours or so, and then we'll see our next round of rain come our way. High pressure is keeping the moisture away from us for the time being, but as that moves eastward over this weekend, warm, humid air will be tracking toward us, and a cold front will be approaching from the northwest. That combination will equal quite a bit of rain and some thunderstorms to our south. We are not going to see any stormy weather here locally in North Alabama, just good old-fashioned rain coming our way. We just got our latest update from Future Radar, so let's roll through it for the next couple of days here. Saturday starting off with sun and then gradual increase in the cloud cover later in the day. Isolated showers possible Saturday evening. Certainly a better chance that rain will roll through late Saturday night. That kind of scattered initially and even through early Sunday morning, but by late morning it's widespread. We're We're talking potentially a little bit heavier rain at that point through much of the afternoon. Maybe occasional breaks in the rain here and there, but most of Sunday is going to be a washout, certainly cloudy and cooler than what we're expecting for Saturday, with highs Sunday staying put close to 50 degrees. So a chilly, rainy Sunday is in store for us. And when it's said and done, just with the rain falling Saturday night through Sunday night, a lot of us might end up with an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. Latest models are trending upward with those forecast rain totals coming our way this weekend. That is going to set the stage for, well, we'll have soggy ground at that point, right? And then we have more rain coming our way next week that could cause the rivers to rise a little bit and maybe some isolated flood concerns next week. It's just a little bit too much rain in too short a period of time. So showers begin on Tuesday. The wettest period is probably going to be Wednesday into Thursday morning, when widespread rain across the region is still on tap for us. When it's said and done, some of us may end up with 3 to 4 inches of rainfall from Sunday through next Thursday. So we'll keep a close eye if that does cause any flood problems across North Alabama. No doubt a wet end to January and a wet start to February after we get to the 50s on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A little bit cooler by the middle and tail end of next week. Highs kind of hovering near 50 degrees. After that wet stretch, the middle of next week, it looks like a quieter and sunny close to next week. Next Friday looking sunny, and probably going to stay that way through the following weekend.
Coming up, we take a look at the next test NASA's making as they prepare for next year's Artemis II mission.
One high school student in Huntsville is receiving a huge honor. Ella Duas is one of 2 students statewide chosen for the Senate Youth Program. Duas is a New Century Technology student. She'll be among 100 students working alongside Alabama senators in March. Duas also gets a $10,000 scholarship.
NASA is practicing for next year's scheduled Artemis II mission. The space agency shared some pictures of a mock-up of the Orion crew module at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Next week, this test article will be dropped into the water to simulate conditions similar to the capsule's return to Earth. Artemis II will be the first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years. The astronauts will test systems and procedures for future trips that will land humans on the lunar surface. Meanwhile, out at Johnson Space Center in Houston, a new crew of 4 volunteers just began a 45-day simulated trip to a Martian moon. These women entered the Human Exploration Research Analog, or HERA, today. Inside, they'll live and work like astronauts to study how crew members adjust to isolation, confinement, and remote conditions. They'll return to Earth, so to speak, by stepping outside HERA on March 13th.
And coming up next in sports, we'll turn our full attention on high school hoops. Just a couple of weeks left in this season, and we have a busy night across the state.
And now, sports coverage you can count on with Sports Director Nolan Knight.
High school basketball in North Alabama. It's home to some of the nation's best high school basketball, and two of the best teams in the state squared off tonight. Huntsville hosting Grissom with first place in 7A, Area 7 on the line. And of course, it was packed at the Panthers Den, and it was Huntsville leading early, but Grissom would get on the board. Stop and pop for Darian Thompson. The first basket out of the break. On the other end, though, Caleb Harrison feeds it inside for Josh Bowman, and that connection was working. This time, it's Boehm inside for Harrison. That kid's got some skill. Those Tigers just wouldn't go away, though. Melvin Webb with the nice drive to the rim, but in the end, it was nothing but Huntsville tonight. The Panthers clinched the 1 seed in the area tournament with the win, 61-41. Another rivalry showdown was taking place at Bob Jones. It's the Madison Bowl. The Patriots hosting James Clemens in front of another packed house, and it was the Pats leading early with that first quarter lay-in, but the Jets would clap back. Outside for Brandon Moore. He connects from range, but anything you can do, I can do better. Dominique Paul for 3. He hits. This game would go down to the very end. Check out the finish at the rim for Pierce Roper. But in the end, it's the Bob Jones Patriots that sweep the season, sneak it away with the victory in this one, 46-42. Over at Arab, the Knights and the Wildcats squared off, and Parker Bell wasted no time showing off what he can do, taking this rebound, turning it into points on the other side of the court, going through the double team for the deuce. But Arab wasted no time responding. Will Cavendar to Jonathan England. It's good from downtown, but almost immediately, Seth Whitmire drills another shot from three-point land. The Wildcats jump back in front, at least for the moment. Cavendar, who led the game with 29 points, scores 2 to tie it right here. These two teams fought hard in this one. Scottsboro grabs the road win, 65-58. Over in Guntersville, the Wildcats, they were looking to claw the Jaguars and made Jemison. And you want to talk about sticking with the play. Well, after a big Jemison block, Guntersville, Noah Fitzgibbons goes back up with that one to get the bucket. The Jags didn't like that, sending a cross-court pass into the lane where Dakarion Bryant would finish the job for 2, but that wouldn't be enough as Guntersville takes this one 74-50. All right, how about we take a look at some other great games from tonight at Brewer. New Hope comes away with the win, 56-45. Meanwhile, at Hartselle, the Tigers get a much-needed and big win over Coleman, 51-50. In ladies action, it's the reigning state champion Wildcats hosting the Jags of Mae Jemison. And Olivia Vandergriff is always doing something for Guntersville. This time she drains a 3 to put them up 7, but Jemison would respond quickly. Z. Berry inbounds pass and then calls for the ball, burying this one to cut the deficit to 4, but the Jags would leave Vandergriff open on the arc again, and they pay for the mistake. She drills another deep shot. The Cats dominate on Friday night, 62-30. Over at Arab, it's the Lady Knights in Scottsboro, and this one was tight late. In the third quarter, missed shot, a deflected rebound, puts the ball in Morgan Perkins' hands, and she's going to take it coast to coast, splitting the defense and laying it in. Scottsboro takes a 1-point lead. Perkins stayed active, this time swiping it and scoring it for the Borough, up 5 now. Scottsboro would stay in attack mode. Caroline Dawson taking the Knights to Spin City. She gets this one to rattle home. That late push would result in a win. They defeat Arab 52-41, and you can't talk about high school hoops in Alabama without bringing up the best team in the state, maybe the nation. Hazel Green tonight. The Trojans made history, winning their 86th consecutive game, tying Lauderdale County's record. They take down Fairfield tonight, 92-20. They extend that winning streak. Next up, they look to break the state's longest winning streak in history tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a look at some other scores from the girls' court from tonight. Huntsville, they take down Grissom, they fall to Grissom, 55-51. And speaking of history, Deschler's Chloe Siegel makes national history tonight. She scores her 562nd career three-point shot. She is the all-time three-point scorer in the nation. Big congratulations to her.